Hello students, today we are going to discuss about last topic of this chapter, and that is plant life cycle and alternation of a generation. So now let me start discussion about plant life cycle and alternation of a generation. Okay, and here first point, that is very important point to notice all of you. In a plants both haploid and diploid cells. Okay, so you have to remember this point, very important point this is. So both haploid and diploid cells can divide by mitosis. So here you have to notice here haploid cell as well as diploid cell both have equal capacity to divide with the mitosis process, and these will form haploid and diploid plant bodies. Okay, and if haploid plant body is generated or produced, that is called gametophyte, and this gametophyte is responsible for the production of gametes by mitosis. So be very clear here, gamete will be produced by the event by using mitosis event, because itself its body itself is a haploid. Okay, and after fertilization, whatever the zygote is formed is also divided by mitosis. Okay, and to produce diploid plant body, and as a result of that diploid plant body will be formed, and that is sporophyte. Okay, the diploid plant body is called sporophyte. Haploid plant body is called gametophyte, and diploid plant body is called sporophyte, and these will produce haploid spores. Okay, and by meiosis, these will be produced by the meiosis. Now meiosis will occur. Okay, and spores divide by mitosis to form a haploid plant body, and finally these spores, okay, will divide with the help of a mitosis, and finally it will generate the haploid plant body. So sometime it will be haploid, sometime it will be diploid. Okay, and such a phenomena is called alternation of a generation. Okay, thus during the life cycle of any sexually reproducing plant, there are alternation of a generation between, sometime they will show you gametophyte, okay, or a haploid, sometime they will show you sporophyte, that is a diploid, sometime haploid, sometime diploid. Such an event, okay, such a phenomena of that is called alternation of a generation, and these alternation of generation can be divided such a pattern of a plant life cycle, and this pattern may be of three kinds. Okay, means this alternation of generation pattern may be of three kind in case of plants. Okay, so pattern of a plant life cycle may be of three kind. First is a haplontic, second one is a diplontic, third one is a haplodiplontic. So we will learn in detail each type of a pattern, we will learn in detail in next. So first of all, let me start with the haplontic pattern of a alternation of a generation. Okay, so during this pattern, what happened in this sporophytic generation is represented by the zygote. Okay, here sporophytic generation will be represented by zygote, and the zygote will undergo meiosis. Okay, and to form haploid spores, and finally it will produce the zygote will undergo meiosis and it will form haploid spores, and they will divide mitotically to form gametophyte, and finally this haploid spore will divide mitotically and form gametophyte, and finally gametophyte will be formed. Okay, and the dominant photosynthetic phase is the free living gametophyte. Here you have to notice any pattern, whenever the haplontic type of pattern is there, at that time the dominant photosynthetic phase will be free living gametophyte. And here such example which shows the haplontic life cycle, okay, having this example algae such as the volvox and spirogyra and some species of a chlamydomonas. Okay, so here you can see this is the gametophyte. Okay, they will form the gametes. Okay, gametogenesis, then syngamy occur, and as a result of that zygote will be formed, and zygote will undergo meiosis, and as a result of that it will produce spores, and then the spores will divide and then mitotically divide and form gametophyte. So by this you can say more the life cycle will be haploid. Okay, suppose this is the whole life cycle of a plant. Most of the time they will be haploid, and that's why they are considered as a haplontic plants. Okay, next pattern of alternation generation is a diplontic. So let me try to understand what is a diplontic pattern of alternation of generation. So in this, what happened? The diploid sporophyte is the dominant here, and that is a photosynthetic and independent phase. Okay, so you can compare it with the haplontic. So in case of a haplontic, what was there? A gametophytic was the photosynthetic or a dominant phase, whereas here sporophyte is a dominant or a photosynthetic phase. So this is differentiating between haplontic and diplontic. Okay, and gametophytic phase is represented by the single to few cell haploid gametophyte. Okay, and here example includes algae, which include fucus possesses all seed-bearing plants such as the gymnosperms and angiosperms, and the gametophytic phase is a few to multicellular structures. Okay, so here most of the time if you observe the plant, okay, most of the time it will show you diploid structures, and that's why they are considered as a diplontic plant or a diplontic pattern of alternation of a generation. So here the sporophyte is a dominant phase. Okay, so sporophyte will be undergoes this gametogenesis. Okay, then gamete will be formed. This gametogenesis will occur, then syngamy occur, and as a result of the zygote will occur, and zygote will further divide and form sporophyte. This is the whole life cycle during in case of a diplontic type of a pattern. Next pattern of alternation of generation is a haplodiplontic type of pattern. Okay, let me try to understand what is the haplodiplontic type of pattern. It is the intermediate condition. Here a condition will be intermediate in between the haplontic and diplontic. So here equal weightage between haplontic and diplontic. Okay, no one is a dominant one. Okay, whether in previously we have learned about the haplontic and diplontic, in which several phenomena will be dominant, but here having equal weightage of both haplontic and diplontic as well. Okay, so both gametophyte and sporophyte in this case are multicellular and often free living. Okay, but they have different dominant phases. Here you cannot say that this one is the dominant phase. Okay, different dominant phases you will observe. And for example, here this type of example is bryophytes and pteridophytes. Okay, so you can see here both type of phases will be equal weightage. Okay, whether it is gametophyte or whether it is sporophyte, both will be found in equal. At the end of this chapter, let me compare between dicots and monocot, that is dicotyledons and monocotyledons. Let me discuss what is the differences between dicots and monocots. So first of all, first difference between dicot and monocot is there are usually two cotyledon. You know very well dicots having two cotyledon and monocot will have only one cotyledon. There is a major difference. Okay, second one, flowers are generally pentamers or tetramers. As you know very well, dicots will have pentamer flower or a tetramer flower. Both may be having a 5 or a 4 multiple type of members. Then here in case of a monocot, flowers may be of trimerous, means flower parts in the set of a 3 or in the multiples of the 3. Then here in case of a dicots, pollen grain commonly have 3 germ pores. Okay, whereas here pollen grain generally possess a single germinal furrow. Okay, we will learn in detail about these all, what is the dicot seeds and what is the pollen grain of a dicot and monocot in next chapters. Okay, so leaves are net vein or we can say reticulate of type. Okay, then here leaves will have parallel venation with few exceptions. Okay, then here primary root often long lived, forming a taproot system. Here most of the time taproot system will be there. So what is a taproot system we will learn in detail in chapter number 5. Okay, and adventitia roots occur in the same cases. So here what is the taproot system and what is the adventitious root system we will learn in detail in chapter number 5. Now next is the primary root is a short lived in this case. Okay, taproots are absent, instead adventitious roots are found. Okay, so here there is a very important to notice here, taproot is not found in case of a monocots. Okay, instead they will have only adventitious roots. So we will learn in detail what is a taproot system, what is the adventitious root in detail in chapter number. Next difference between monocots and dicots is in case of a dicot, stem possess concentric arrangement of a tissue, and that is epidermis, cortex, endodermis, pericycle, pith, etc. We will learn in detail what is the epidermis, cortex, endodermis, pericycle in detail in chapter number 5. Okay, and tissue system here in case of a monocots are differentiate into the stem. Okay, a ground tissue occur. Next is the vascular bundle of the stem are arranged in a ring. Okay, whereas here vascular bundles are scattered. Then here vascular bundles of a stem possess cambium. What is the cambium? We will learn in detail in chapter number 6. Okay, vascular bundle open here. So what is the open type of vascular bundle? What is the closed type of vascular bundle? We will learn in detail in chapter number 6. So that secondary growth is possible. And here totally cambium will be absent. Okay, and here vascular bundle will be of closed type. In root, a pith is absent or a small. Vascular bundles are a few, that may be 8 or less. In roots, pith is always present. Vascular bundles are many or maybe more than 8. Here vessels are polygonal in outline and here vessels are rounded in outline. Okay, so this is a major difference between monocots and dicots. Some definition we will learn in detail in chapter number 5. So this is your homework for today's lecture, and before we finish this lecture, let me summarize whole topic by using one animation video. So look at this video.
If you observe the life cycle of any sexually reproducing plant, you will notice that it alternates between a sporophytic generation and a gametophytic generation. This is termed as alternation of generations. In the life cycle of the fern, for instance, the main plant body, a mature sporophyte, bears sporangia, which produce haploid spores through meiosis. These spores undergo mitosis and germinate into a prothallus, a gametophyte with haploid cells. The prothallus bears the antheridium and archegonium that respectively produce antherozoids and egg, the haploid male and female gametes. The fusion of these haploid gametes results in the formation of a diploid zygote, which undergoes mitosis to reproduce a diploid young sporophyte. The young sporophyte soon matures into an adult sporophyte, completing the life cycle. The plant body thus alternates between a sporophytic generation and a gametophytic generation. However, in different plant groups, either the sporophytic generation or the gametophytic generation is the dominant phase, or, in other words, persists for a longer period. This difference gives rise to three patterns of life cycle in plants: the haplontic life cycle, diplontic life cycle, and haplodiplontic life cycle. In the haplontic life cycle, observed in algae such as Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra, and Volvox, the sporophytic generation is represented by a single-celled diploid zygote, and there are no free-living sporophytes. This zygote undergoes meiosis to form haploid spores, which divide mitotically to produce a free-living gametophyte. Since mitosis occurs only in the haploid phase, the resulting gametophytes are also called haplons, and the life cycle is called the haplontic life cycle, wherein the gametophytic generation is the dominant phase. In the diplontic life cycle, observed in gymnosperms and angiosperms, the gametophytic generation is represented by a single or a few-celled gametophyte. On the other hand, the dominant sporophytic generation is represented by a diploid, free-living and photosynthetic sporophyte. In the haplodiplontic life cycle, observed in bryophytes and pteridophytes, both sporophytic and gametophytic generations are multicellular and free-living. However, the dominant phases are different in the life cycle of bryophytes and pteridophytes. In bryophytes, for instance, a free-living thalloid photosynthetic and erect haploid gametophyte represents the dominant phase. On the other hand, the sporophytic generation is short-lived, during which the multicellular sporophyte is totally or partially dependent on the gametophyte for its anchorage and nutrition. In pteridophytes, the photosynthetic sporophyte with vascular tissues is the dominant phase that alternates with the haploid, independent, multicellular, saprophytic, or autotrophic gametophyte. Apart from bryophytes and pteridophytes, certain algae such as Ectocarpus and Polysiphonia also exhibit the haplodiplontic life cycle. Thus, Every plant cycle is marked by alternation of the sporophytic with the gametophytic phase. However, the dominant phase differs in different plant groups.
In next lecture, we will start new chapter, and that is from unit number 1, chapter number 4, Animal Kingdom. So till that, goodbye.